Alex Carter had been on countless missions, but this one felt different. He walked carefully over the rocky surface of the distant planet, sky a pale shade of green that shimmered in the low sunlight. His boots kicked up fine dust as he scanned the horizon for any signs of life or activity. The ancient ruins stretched ahead, massive stone structures etched with symbols that seemed both familiar and alien at the same time. He had heard rumors about this planet, about civilizations long gone, but nothing could have prepared him for what he was about to see as he stepped closer to one of the ruins. He noticed something unusual, a figure standing motionless in the distance. At first he thought it was a projection or a statue, but the way it moved ever so slightly made him pause. The figure was humanoid, but unlike any human he had ever seen. Her skin glowed faintly in the twilight, and her eyes held a depth that seemed to peer into his very soul. Alex froze for a moment, unsure if he should approach. Then she moved. Not towards him, but as if she was adjusting to the fact that he was there. Her expression shifted from calm to shock. She whispered something, though he couldn't hear the words. It was only when she raised her hand slightly and opened her mouth that the words became clear. Carried through some strange resonance he could feel in the air. "Impossible," she said. Her voice a soft echo that made his skin crawl with curiosity and awe. Alex's first thought was confusion. How could she say that about him? He was just a man, a simple human. Yet, in her eyes, he saw fear, wonder, and disbelief all at once. His heart pounded as he realized this was no ordinary encounter. He slowly raised his hands in a gesture of peace, careful not to startle her. "I'm Alex Carter," he said softly. "I come in peace." The alien woman, Sela, took a step back, her eyes never leaving his. Her fingers trembled slightly, and for a moment, Alex thought she might vanish entirely. Then, her guards, who had been silently observing from the shadows, relaxed their stances. This was unusual. Normally, humans approaching her people were met with suspicion or outright hostility. Alex noticed the intricate details of the ruins as he stepped closer. The walls were covered in carvings, symbols that seemed to tell stories of battles, alliances, and journeys across the stars. He knelt to examine a symbol etched into a stone pillar. It looked almost like a human figure, a man standing tall amidst chaos. His pulse quickened. Could it be that the civilization had somehow predicted his arrival, or seen humans before? Sela's voice, now steadier, broke the silence. You shouldn't be here," she said, her tone a mix of warning and wonder. "We have waited for someone like you, but we never thought it would be real." Alex blinked. He had faced dangerous creatures, hostile environments, and political tensions in his career, but nothing prepared him for this level of mystery. "I don't understand," he admitted. "Why me?" "I'm just an explorer," Sela hesitated, as if weighing her next words carefully. "Long ago, our people recorded a figure, a human-like man who would come when our world faced great trials. You resemble him exactly." Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. The idea of being part of some prophecy was both thrilling and terrifying. He looked around, noting that her guards seemed tense, yet unwilling to act aggressively. It was as if they were waiting for a signal, a confirmation that Alex was indeed who she believed him to be. "I don't know what prophecy you mean," Alex said, keeping his voice calm. "I'm not here to rule or to fight. I just want to understand, to explore, and to learn." Sela studied him closely. Her glowing eyes flicked to the carvings around them and back to him. Finally, she nodded slightly, though her expression remained guarded. "Then perhaps you will help us understand too," she said. "We do not know why it has to be you, but fate seems to have a hand in this." Alex felt a strange mix of pride and apprehension. He had faced unknown worlds before, but this was different. The stakes were higher, and the mystery of why she called him impossible weighed heavily on his mind. He took a careful step forward, glancing at the ruins and then back at her. "I'll do what I can," he said. "Tell me what you need." Sela motioned for him to follow, leading him deeper into the ruins. As they walked, Alex noticed the subtle hum in the air, almost like the planet itself was alive and aware of their presence. She explained that the ruins were once part of a grand library, a repository of knowledge from her people's ancestors. The The symbols and carvings were meant to preserve their history and predictions. Alex listened intently, fascinated by the depth of her civilization. Every detail seemed to reveal more about their advanced technology, their understanding of the stars, and their foresight regarding other species. Yet, the central question remained: why him? Why was he the one she had been waiting for? As they reached a central chamber, the scale of the ruins became even more apparent. Massive pillars stretched to a high ceiling. Holographic images flickered to life, showing scenes of alien cities, battles, and voyages across the galaxy. Alex could see that these images were not just decorative, they were records, lessons, and perhaps warnings. Sela turned to him, her expression a mix of reverence and concern. You must understand, human, that your presence here changes everything. Our leaders have long debated the meaning of the prophecy. Some believe it is a warning, others, a promise. Alex nodded slowly, taking in her words. He could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. Despite being just one man, his actions now had significance beyond anything he had imagined. Then we should start by understanding each other, he said. I can't solve your problems alone, but together we can try. For the first time since their encounter, Sela smiled faintly. It was not a smile of joy, but of cautious hope. She called her guards closer and instructed them to stand down entirely, a gesture of trust that was rare for her people. Alex felt a surge of relief, knowing that at least in this moment, they were allies, not enemies. The two of them spent hours exploring the central chamber, examining the carvings and discussing the records. Alex asked questions about the human-like figure in their legends, about the events that led to their creation, and about the meaning of the word impossible in her culture. Sela answered as best she could, though she admitted that much of the history had been lost or misinterpreted over time as the alien sun began to set. Casting long shadows across the ruins, Alex realized that this mission would change him forever. He was no longer just an explorer. He had become part of a story that spanned generations and galaxies. Yet, he remained himself a human with simple needs, fears, and hopes. Sela's final words for the day echoed in his mind. Rest now, human. Tomorrow, we begin to uncover the truth. Alex nodded, feeling the weight of their journey ahead, but also a strange excitement. He had walked into the unknown and found not just mystery, but a connection that transcended species, culture, and even time as he settled down near the ruins. Watching the twin moons rise in the alien sky, Alex could not shake the image of Sela's face when she first saw him. Impossible, she had whispered. And yet here he was, alive, present, and ready to face whatever came next. The next morning, Alex woke to the gentle hum of the alien city just beyond the ruins. The air was different here, charged with energy he could almost feel in his chest. Sela was already waiting, standing near the edge of the ruins, her eyes scanning the horizon as if anticipating something. When she saw him stirring, she gestured for him to come closer. We need to talk, she said, her voice calm but urgent. About what you truly are and why you are here. Alex stretched, rubbing his eyes, still adjusting to the alien morning. I still don't understand, he said. Why would your people expect someone like me? I'm just a human. Sela shook her head, her long hair flowing in the alien wind. It is more than that. Our ancestors recorded the image of a human who would appear when great changes threatened our world. You match that description exactly. The resemblance is uncanny. Alex frowned, trying to keep his thoughts organized. Prophecy, legends, ancient aliens, it was overwhelming. But he kept his tone steady. I don't know anything about that. I can't change what I am, but I can help you understand. Maybe we can find the truth together. Sela's eyes softened slightly. She looked relieved that he didn't react with fear or arrogance. Good. Then we begin by exploring the records left behind in the ruins. They may contain the knowledge we need. They moved deeper into the central chamber, where holographic images shimmered into life. Alex watched as scenes of battles, celestial maps, and alien leaders played out before him. Sela explained each symbol, each image, and the significance it held for her people. Alex asked questions constantly, learning about alien technology, their culture, the legends surrounding humans. As they talked to humans, arrived to join Alex. Ben Rogers, a pilot who had flown in from the human base, landed smoothly nearby, and Kate Miller, a scientist with a sharp mind and curiosity that rivaled Alex's own, followed close behind. Both looked around in awe at the alien architecture, careful to respect the fragile structures. "Alex," Ben called, jogging to catch up. "We got your message. Thought we should see this with our own eyes." Kate studied the carvings and the glowing symbols, her brow furrowed in concentration. "These ruins. It's like they were designed to teach, to record, to warn. There's so much we don't know yet." Sella nodded politely at the humans, though her attention remained partly on Alex. She explained that the records had long been misinterpreted by her people. What was once considered prophecy was actually observation-detailed studies of human-like beings who might one day appear. It was a shock for her to accept that Alex was a real human and not a mythical figure. Alex spent hours examining the symbols, cross-referencing them with his own knowledge and the scans he had taken from previous missions. Slowly, he began to see the connections. The aliens had been watching humans indirectly, possibly through earlier encounters that left no traces in human records. Their fascination with human adaptability and ingenuity was obvious. Sella walked beside him, explaining how her people had debated for centuries about what the prophecies meant. Some believed the human figure would bring salvation, others destruction. Alex listened carefully, impressed by the care and thought that went into their historical interpretations. "So, you expected someone like me," Alex said, "but none of you really knew what to expect when I arrived." Sella nodded. "Yes, we feared, we hoped, and now we see that the reality is far more complex. You are human, yet your actions, your thoughts, and your courage are what truly matter. The prophecy only describes the form, not the substance." Kate approached, holding a fragment of alien writing she had decoded. "Alex, look at this. It talks about cooperation, not domination. It describes someone who unites rather than conquers." "It's human in nature, isn't it?" Alex smiled slightly. "That's what I've been saying. Humans survive not because we're strongest, but because we adapt, cooperate, and care. Maybe that's what drew your ancestors' attention." Sela seemed to consider this carefully. She explained that her empire valued strength, discipline, and hierarchy above all. Yet the presence of Alex challenged those values, showing that courage and resourcefulness could take many forms. She began to wonder if perhaps they had misinterpreted the purpose of the ancient records. As the day progressed, they discovered more evidence that humans had been observed long ago. The carvings depicted figures who thought and acted in ways that mirrored human problem-solving, empathy, and adaptability. Sella admitted it was overwhelming to see so much documented knowledge pointing directly to Alex and his species. "Alex." Ben and Kate worked together, comparing human logic with alien expectations. Ben marveled at how alien technology could be repurposed with simple human ingenuity. Kate theorized about how human intuition and alien systems could combine to solve problems in ways neither species had imagined. Sella watched them closely, learning not just from the humans' intelligence, but from their ability to stay calm under pressure. It was clear that human behavior had a depth her people had never fully appreciated. She realized that the prophecy, while ancient, is not about destiny alone, but about potential. Toward evening, a tense moment arrived when a sudden alarm blared through the ruins. Sensors detected a fleet approaching the planet, one that had historically opposed Sella's people. She glanced at Alex, her expression a mixture of fear and trust. "They do not know you are here," she said. "Your presence may change how they act." Alex looked at the incoming fleet, the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. He knew that his skills as a human explorer, his creativity and quick thinking, would be tested like never before. He turned to Ben and Kate, who nodded, ready to act. Together, they began planning defenses, considering not just the alien technology, but how human strategy could make a difference. As night fell, the ruins glowed softly under the alien moons. Sela stood close to Alex, whispering that she had never hoped for a human to be here. Yet now she could not imagine facing this crisis without him. Alex felt the seriousness of the moment, but also a strange confidence. Humans were not perfect, but they could adapt, improvise, and survive. Maybe that was exactly what this alien world needed. For hours, they strategized, tested ideas, and coordinated with Sela's people. It became clear that the ancient records were not just historical, they were instructions for survival. Lessons encoded in symbols and stories. Alex realized that understanding them could be the key to bridging human and alien worlds. Finally, as the twin moons rose high, as casting silver light over the ruins, Alex and Sela paused to reflect. She admitted that she had doubted, feared, and hoped all at once. Now, watching humans work with her people, she began to understand that the prophecy was not a destiny written in stone, but a challenge, a chance to learn and grow. Alex looked at her, feeling a connection that transcended species. They were allies, explorers together, facing a new chapter in a story that had begun long before him. He felt the thrill of possibility, the power of cooperation, the quiet strength that humans carried in their hearts. As the night deepened, Alex felt the weight of history and potential pressing on him. Yet, he also felt hope. He was not alone. Humans, aliens, and the ancient knowledge of a forgotten civilization were now linked. Each learning from the other, each ready to face the unknown. Tomorrow would bring challenges, but for the first time, Alex understood that the impossible might just be the beginning of something extraordinary. The sun rose over the alien planet, casting a soft glow on the ruins where Alex, Sela, Ben, and Kate had spent the previous day. The distant hum of the city beyond the ruins was steady, almost calming, but tension hung in the air. The incoming fleet that had been detected yesterday was still en route, and Sela knew they would arrive soon. She turned to Alex, her expression serious but trusting. "We must prepare," she said. "They will not expect humans to be here. Your people may give us an advantage we cannot achieve alone." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility, but also a strange clarity. He and his human companions began examining the alien defensive systems, looking for ways to integrate their understanding of tactics with the technology available. Ben worked on navigation and flight patterns for the defense, while Kate analyzed energy shields and weapon systems. Alex moved between them, coordinating and suggesting ideas. Always careful to explain human reasoning to the aliens helping them, Sela's guards observed closely. Initially skeptical, but gradually realizing the value of human adaptability. They had been trained to follow protocol, to act with precision and authority, but Alex's approach was different. He encouraged improvisation, experimentation, and quick decision-making. Slowly, the aliens began to see that there was more than one way to handle danger. As the fleet drew closer, the first warning signals triggered. Alex and Ben coordinated the placement of defensive units, while Kate used her understanding of alien systems to boost shield efficiency. Alex suggested using natural terrain to their advantage, positioning drones and energy emitters in unexpected areas. Something that traditional alien tactics had not considered. Sela watched him work, impressed by the way he remained calm under pressure. Every decision he made showed a deep understanding of human problem-solving, adapting and responding in ways that the aliens had never considered. She realized that the human figure in her people's prophecy was not meant to conquer or dominate, but to bring new strategies and solutions in times of crisis. The first wave of the rival fleet appeared on the horizon. Massive ships with intimidating weaponry. Sela's people tensed, ready to fight with their traditional methods. Alex raised his hand, signaling patience. "Wait," he said. "Let's see how they move first. We can use their patterns against them." As the enemy ships approached, Alex quickly noticed a flaw in their formation. He called out instructions to Ben, who piloted human-augmented drones to exploit gaps in the enemy lines. Kate calculated shield adjustments in real time, creating zones where alien defenses would be nearly impenetrable. The combination of human intuition and alien technology began to turn the tide. Sela realized that the aliens had underestimated humans. They relied heavily on routine, on precise commands. While Alex and his team thought creatively, adapted quickly, and worked as a flexible unit, her guards began mimicking their movements. Realizing that adaptability could be a weapon just as powerful as raw strength, as the battle escalated, Alex led small teams in strategic strikes, disabling enemy ships without unnecessary destruction. He emphasized minimizing casualties, showing that human ingenuity often focused on solutions rather than aggression. Sela noticed her people being influenced by his methods, questioning their assumptions about strength and leadership. During a critical moment, one of the enemy ships broke through the outer defenses and headed straight for the ruins. Alex did not hesitate. He ran toward the control center, coordinating both humans and aliens to create a trap. With precise timing, they redirected energy fields and activated concealed drones, stopping the intruder before it could cause harm. Sela witnessed his bravery and quick thinking firsthand, realizing the prophecy's description of a human hero was not about destiny, but about courage and ingenuity. After the immediate threat was neutralized, Alex and his companions began repairing damages and preparing for potential next waves. Sela approached him, her eyes reflecting a mix of relief and admiration. "You have done more than I expected," she said. "Your presence has changed how my people see this world and themselves." Alex shook his head modestly. "I'm just doing what humans do. We adapt, we work together, and we find solutions. Nothing more, nothing less." Ben laughed lightly, checking drone systems. "He's right. Sometimes the simplest approach works best. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise," Kate added. "And sometimes, two species working together can do things neither could achieve alone." That's what we're seeing here. Sela considered this, realizing that humans brought more than physical capability. Their ability to inspire collaboration, to think differently under pressure, and to act decisively without relying solely on hierarchy was invaluable. She began to see that the legend of the human hero was not about being invincible, but about leading through understanding and adaptability as the day went on. They monitored the enemy fleet's movements. Alex suggested creating decoys using holographic projections and energy signals, confusing the enemy and forcing them into vulnerable positions. The plan worked better than expected, demonstrating that human strategy, combined with alien technology, could outsmart even the most formidable foes. Sela watched as her guards and citizens began to adopt some of the human techniques. She realized that the real gift of Alex's presence was not the battle itself, but the lesson it taught. Strength was not only about force, it was about intelligence, flexibility, and courage under pressure. That night, after the enemy retreated beyond the horizon, Alex and Sela walked through the ruins, surveying the aftermath. The damage was minimal, thanks to their careful planning, but the experience had left a deep impression. Sela spoke quietly, almost to herself. "Your people. They have a way of surviving that my people have never understood fully. It is not magic, nor is it fate. It is choice." Alex nodded, understanding her words. Humans did not rely on destiny or legend. They relied on creativity, empathy, and collaboration. "That's right," he said. "We make mistakes, we learn, we adapt. That's how we survive." Sela smiled faintly. She had once feared that the human figure in the prophecy would bring chaos, but now she saw a different truth. Humans could inspire hope, teach new ways of thinking, and challenge old assumptions. She felt a growing respect for Alex, not as a hero foretold by legend, but as a human who embodied the qualities her people had long overlooked. Alex. Ben and Kate began organizing the ruins for continued research, collecting data and ensuring the alien defenses were ready for future threats. Sela joined them, sharing insights from the ancient records and learning from the human perspectives. Together they worked as a unified team, combining knowledge, strategy, and experience. As the night deepened and the twin moons glimmered overhead, Alex reflected on the day's events. He had faced uncertainty, danger, and skepticism. Yet humans had proven that adaptability and courage could make a difference. He felt a quiet pride, not in victory, but in the ability to connect, learn, and collaborate across species. Sela looked at him thoughtfully. "You have changed the course of our history today," she said. "Not through force, but through understanding. Perhaps this is what the prophecy truly meant." Alex smiled softly. "Maybe it's less about prophecy and more about people, about what we can do when we work together. That's the real story." And with that, they prepared for the days ahead, knowing that challenges would come, but also that together, humans and aliens could face them with ingenuity, courage, and hope. The battle had tested them, but it had also taught them something greater. Strength was not just about power, but about collaboration, creativity, and the quiet determination to do what was right. Alex woke to a quiet morning on the alien planet. The ruins bathed in soft golden light. The events of the previous days weighed heavily on him, yet he felt a strange sense of purpose. Sela was already preparing for another exploration deeper into the ancient structures. Her mind clearly focused on the mysteries they had only begun to understand. "Today, we uncover more than records," she said as Alex approached. "We seek the truth behind the legend." Alex nodded, adjusting his equipment and following her lead. The central chamber had revealed much already, but there were corridors and rooms that remained unexplored. As they moved deeper, the air became warmer, carrying faint vibrations that resonated through the stone. Alex felt as if the planet itself was alive. Guiding them forward, Sela explained that her people had long misinterpreted the ancient messages. The figure in their prophecy had been expected to appear as a savior or a conqueror. But the deeper they explored, the more it became clear that the records described observation and learning, not domination. Alex's presence was proof that humans could inspire change, not through force, but through ingenuity and empathy. As they entered a large hall, the walls shimmered with holographic projections showing scenes from a time long past. Humans appeared in some of the images, their actions recorded with precision. Alex could not believe his eyes. It seemed that early humans had been seen by these aliens and documented for their resilience, curiosity, and ability to solve complex problems. Kate joined them, examining the projections with fascination. "Alex, look at this," she said. "These humans are not myth. They acted, adapted, and learned. They influenced the balance of power in ways your people didn't realize." Alex studied the images carefully. Each scene told a story of cooperation, strategy, and empathy. He realized that the prophecy was not about one human leading armies or conquering worlds. It was about qualities humans embody: adaptability, intelligence, courage, and the ability to unite disparate groups to face challenges. Chella's eyes reflected a mixture of shock and awe. She had believed the prophecy described destiny, yet the evidence showed a different truth. Humans had been observed not for their power, but for their potential to change outcomes through understanding and collaboration. As they moved deeper into the ruins, Alex noticed inscriptions that detailed events where humans had solved conflicts without violence, negotiated with alien species, and created alliances. Sela translated the inscriptions, revealing that her ancestors had hoped for someone like Alex to arrive, not as a ruler, but as a bridge between worlds. Alex felt humbled. He was just a man, yet his presence carried weight he had never imagined. He spoke softly to Sela. "This is not about destiny or prophecy. It's about choice. Humans make decisions, and those decisions can influence the course of events. That's what your ancestors recorded." Sela nodded slowly, absorbing his words. "Then our interpretation was flawed. We expected a savior, but what we should have expected is what you were showing us: someone who acts, who chooses, who learns." Ben and Kate worked alongside them, helping to document the findings and suggesting ways the ancient knowledge could be used to improve current understanding. They realized that the lessons embedded in the ruins could guide both humans and aliens in future cooperation and conflict resolution. As they reached the deepest chamber, a massive artifact awaited them. It appeared to be a device of some sort, glowing faintly with energy. Inscriptions around it described the principles of observation, adaptation, and collaboration. Alex could see that it was not a weapon, but a teaching tool, meant to guide those who would come after, Sela examined the artifact carefully. Our people misunderstood this, she said. We thought it was a sign of power, but it is a guide for learning. It shows how knowledge and understanding can shape the galaxy. Alex approached the artifact, running his hands over its smooth surface. He felt a connection, a sense that humans had always been observed for qualities that were not physical, but intellectual and emotional. It was a humbling realization, but also one that filled him with quiet pride. We can use this, he said, not to dominate, but to teach, to guide, to help both our people and yours. It's about partnership, not supremacy. Sela's eyes softened. She had spent centuries believing that strength was measured by power and control, yet here she saw a new definition. Humans, with all their imperfections, embodied a strength that was different but equally vital. She realized that the prophecy had been misread, but its truth was more profound than anyone had imagined. As they continued exploring, they found more holographic projections showing humans mediating disputes, solving crises, and working with other species. Alex and his team documented everything, understanding that this knowledge could help prevent future conflicts and promote cooperation across civilizations. Kate pointed to a projection where humans were, teaching an alien species to work together to achieve a goal. Look at this, Alex. Your people have always been connectors, problem solvers. That's why they were recorded and why you were expected to come. Alex nodded thoughtfully. We survive by understanding, by learning, and by helping others. That's our real strength. Sela turned to him, a smile faint but genuine on her face. You are not a hero foretold by legend, Alex. You are an example of what humans can do. And perhaps that is far more important. They spent the rest of the day exploring the ruins, studying inscriptions, and sharing insights. Alex realized that the ancient prophecy was not about fate, but about potential. Humans were not meant to conquer, but to inspire and connect. The lessons of the past could now guide the future, and Alex felt a sense of purpose he had never known. As night fell, the ruins glowed softly under the twin moons. Alex and Sela stood together, reflecting on what they had discovered. The prophecy was never about control, she said. It was about understanding and about the choices humans make. Your presence proves that. Alex smiled, feeling the quiet power of human resilience. We make mistakes, we learn, and we adapt. That's what the records show, and that's what I hope to continue. Sela nodded, her gaze thoughtful. She had once feared the arrival of a human would bring chaos, but now she saw that it brought knowledge, insight, and a new way of seeing the universe. She realized that the word impossible she had whispered when first seeing Alex was not about disbelief or fear, but about recognizing that humans could do things her people had never imagined together. They prepared to return to the surface and share their findings with the rest of her civilization. Alex felt the weight of history on his shoulders, but also the quiet satisfaction of knowing that understanding, not force, could shape the future. Humans had been recorded, observed, and now they had a chance to lead by example, guiding others with courage, intelligence, and empathy. As they walked back through the ruins, Alex reflected on the journey. He had entered as an explorer, uncertain and untested. Now he carried the legacy of human potential, not as a prophecy fulfilled, but as a living testament to what humans could achieve through choice, collaboration, and courage. The ruins whispered their secrets, and he knew that this was only the beginning of a story that would continue to unfold across the stars. Alex woke to the soft light of the alien sunrise, feeling a mix of anticipation and resolve. Today was the day they would face the consequences of their discoveries and decide how to shape the future. Sela was already awake, pacing near the edge of the ruins, her eyes scanning the horizon. She seemed calm, but Alex could sense the tension beneath her composed exterior. Today, everything changes, she said as Alex approached. Your presence has already shifted our people's understanding. But now, the real test begins. Alex nodded, knowing that what lay ahead was not just a matter of survival, but of trust, cooperation, and the ability to lead by example. He checked on Ben and Kate, who were busy ensuring that communication channels with their human base were secure and ready. They had spent days integrating human knowledge with alien technology. Preparing for both defense and diplomacy, Sela gathered her closest advisors. And together with Alex, they planned a meeting with the alien leaders. It was clear that there were factions who were skeptical, even hostile, to the idea of humans playing a role in their civilization. Some saw humans as unpredictable and dangerous, while others were curious and hopeful. Alex understood that his actions in the coming hours would determine the course of their future relationship. As the leaders arrived, tension was palpable. Alex stepped forward, keeping his voice calm and steady. He began by recounting their discoveries in the ruins, showing evidence of how humans had been observed, studied, and respected by the ancient civilization. He emphasized human qualities: adaptability, empathy, intelligence that allowed them to survive and thrive without domination. Sela translated his words carefully, ensuring that the nuances of human thought and reasoning were understood. She added her own perspective, explaining how human involvement in recent events had prevented unnecessary destruction and promoted cooperation. Slowly, she noticed skeptical expressions softening, curiosity replacing fear. Alex continued, illustrating human problem-solving with examples from their recent collaboration during the fleet attack. He spoke of strategy, improvisation, and the willingness to take calculated risks to protect lives. He highlighted how humans work together, bridging gaps between different species and fostering understanding. Some leaders questioned whether humans could be trusted. Beyond immediate crises, Alex responded with honesty, acknowledging human flaws, mistakes, and limitations. Yet, he emphasized that their ability to learn and adapt made humans valuable partners. Trust was built not on perfection, but on consistent effort, understanding, and integrity. As discussions unfolded, a rival faction attempted to challenge the humans' presence, arguing that prophecy and tradition should dictate decisions. Alex and Sela remained composed, presenting logical arguments and evidence from the ancient records. They demonstrated that the prophecy was not about domination, but about potential and choice. The leaders began to see that the humans' approach offered a path to stability, growth, and mutual benefit. Outside, Ben and Kate monitored the skies, ensuring that no threat approached during the critical negotiations. Their presence was a reminder that humans were not only participants in discussion, but also protectors of peace. Their competence and calm under pressure reinforced the arguments being made inside the chamber. After hours of dialogue, a turning point came when a young leader spoke. She expressed amazement at the humans' ability to work with alien technology, to integrate knowledge across species, and to act with empathy in complex situations. Her words resonated with the assembly. Inspiring others to reconsider their positions, Sela turned to Alex, her expression one of quiet admiration. She realized that humans embodied qualities her people had long overlooked: courage tempered by compassion, intelligence balanced with humility, and creativity guided by ethical consideration. She understood now why the word impossible had left her breathless when she first saw him. It was a recognition that humans could achieve what others thought could not be done. With consensus growing, the leaders agreed to formally recognize humans as allies and partners, capable of contributing to their civilization without imposing control. Alex felt a sense of relief and pride, not for himself, but for what it represented: a bridge between species, a chance for cooperation, and a model for the future. As the formal agreements were signed, Sela spoke publicly, acknowledging past misunderstandings and declaring that humans were to be welcomed as equal participants in their society. Alex stood beside her, aware that this moment marked not only a diplomatic victory, but also a shift in cultural perception. The words impossible no longer carried fear. They were now a symbol of hope, potential, and partnership. After the ceremony, Alex, Ben, and Kate spent time helping the aliens integrate human strategies and knowledge into their education and defense systems. They trained guards in human improvisation techniques, shared problem-solving methods, and facilitated workshops on collaboration. Sela observed, proud of the progress and the positive impact that humans could bring. As evening approached, Alex took a moment to walk through the ruins, reflecting on the journey. He had entered this world as an explorer, uncertain and ordinary, but had become part of something far larger, living example of human resilience, ingenuity, and empathy. The ancient records had predicted a human figure, but the true significance lay not in prophecy, but in human choice and action. Sela joined him. Standing silently as they watched the twin moons rise over the alien landscape, she whispered, "I understand now. Humans do not come to rule, but to stand, to guide, and to learn alongside others." Alex smiled. "That's right. We are not perfect, but we try, and that matters. We survive by working together, by listening, and by taking responsibility. That's what keeps us moving forward." They watched in quiet companionship, the ruins glowing softly around them. The journey had tested courage, intellect, and patience. But it had also revealed a universal truth. Understanding and cooperation were more powerful than fear or domination. Humans and aliens could face challenges together, and in doing so, create a future built on shared values. Finally, as the night deepened, Alex prepared to depart for his human base, knowing that his role here had made a lasting difference. Sela walked him to the landing site, her expression a mixture of gratitude and admiration. "Thank you for showing us what humans can do," she said. "You have given us more than knowledge. You have given us perspective, and that is priceless." Alex nodded, feeling the quiet pride of a mission accomplished. "I'm just a human," he said. "But together, we've done something meaningful. That's what matters." As his ship lifted off, Sela watched from the ruins, reflecting on everything she had learned. The word impossible echoed in her mind, but now it carried a new meaning. Humans had defied expectations, not through power alone, but through courage, empathy, and ingenuity. They had changed the way her people saw the universe, and in doing so, had left a legacy that would endure. Alex looked down at the planet, feeling a sense of connection and hope. The journey was complete, yet the story was only beginning. Humans and aliens working together could face the unknown with confidence, intelligence, and compassion. And as the stars stretched out before him, Alex understood that the impossible was never a barrier. It was a challenge, a call to rise, and a promise of what could be achieved when humans chose to act with courage and heart. Months had passed since Alex had left the alien planet, yet the impact of his presence continued to resonate among Sela's people. He returned occasionally for diplomatic missions, scientific collaboration, and strategic consultations, each time finding new ways humans and aliens could learn from each other. The initial prophecy had evolved into a living lesson, one that connected to species in unexpected ways. Alex arrived on the planet at dawn, the ship gliding smoothly above the ruins he had once explored. Sela was waiting at the landing site, her expression a mixture of anticipation and warmth. She greeted him with a nod, showing how their bond had grown from cautious curiosity to mutual respect. "I'm glad you're here," she said. "There's much to discuss, and the Council has requested your input on a new initiative." Alex stepped down, adjusting his suit and taking in the familiar landscape. The ruins seemed different now, not just relics of the past, but symbols of a new era of understanding. He felt a surge of pride, knowing that his human perspective had helped shape the direction of an entire civilization inside the council chamber. Leaders from across the empire had gathered. Some were still cautious, while others were openly eager to integrate human methods into their governance and defense strategies. Alex observed the room, noting the subtle tensions and alliances, and knew that diplomacy required both patience and clarity. Sela introduced him formally, emphasizing his role not as a conqueror, but as a teacher, a collaborator, and a bridge between worlds. Alex began by presenting examples of human problem-solving in real-world situations, illustrating how adaptability, empathy, and cooperative thinking could solve complex challenges without unnecessary conflict. He spoke slowly and clearly, choosing words that resonated across language and culture. Humans survive not because we are strongest or most powerful, but because we work together. We learn from each other, and we face challenges without fear. These principles are universal. They can guide any civilization not to dominate, but to thrive. Some leaders nodded thoughtfully, impressed by the logic and humility in his approach. Others remained skeptical, questioning whether humans could consistently act with such discipline and restraint. Alex acknowledged their concerns honestly, sharing stories of human mistakes, failures, and the lessons learned from them. He emphasized that it was not perfection that mattered, but the ability to adapt, to learn, and to persevere. Sela complimented his words, explaining how his previous actions had prevented conflict and fostered trust among factions. She highlighted examples where humans had mediated disputes, used creativity to solve problems, and inspired both aliens and humans to act responsibly and compassionately. After the presentations, a discussion began about a new initiative to create joint training programs, combining human adaptability with alien technology and knowledge. Alex proposed simulation exercises, collaborative problem-solving challenges, and educational workshops designed to encourage critical thinking and teamwork. The council seemed intrigued. Realizing that humans brought more than tactics, they brought a new way of thinking. Ben and Kate assisted remotely, providing data, analysis, and demonstrations of human problem-solving techniques. Their involvement reinforced the credibility of Alex's proposals, showing that humans could contribute practically, not just theoretically. As the day progressed, the council debated the initiative. Some members expressed concerns about trust and cultural differences, while others emphasized the benefits of learning from a species that had consistently adapted and survived across diverse environments. Alex listened carefully, offering insights without imposing, demonstrating the very principles he advocated during a break. Sela and Alex walked through the training grounds that had been set up since his last visit. Alien trainees were engaging in exercises that blended human-style improvisation with traditional techniques. Alex observed their reactions, noting moments of hesitation and sudden insight. It was clear that the exercise was fostering not just skill, but understanding and creativity. They are learning quickly, Alex remarked. And more importantly, they're thinking differently. That's the real benefit. Sela nodded. I see that. Humans have a way of encouraging curiosity and initiative. Our people are beginning to see beyond rules and routines, and it's changing how they approach challenges. Back in the council chamber, a new threat emerged. Scouts reported a distant fleet approaching, similar in scale to the one Alex had helped repel months before. The council looked to him for guidance. Alex quickly assessed the situation, drawing on past experience and current intelligence. He suggested a defensive strategy that relied on adaptability, its deception, and coordination rather than brute force. Sela and the council approved the plan, trusting in his judgment. Alex worked alongside alien engineers, pilots, strategists to implement the strategy, ensuring that human tactics integrated seamlessly with alien systems. The approach emphasized minimizing casualties, using terrain advantage, and creating flexible response units capable of adjusting to unforeseen changes as the enemy fleet arrived. The plan unfolded successfully. Holographic decoys, rapid repositioning of energy shields, and coordinated strikes from mobile units disrupted the attacking force. Alex and his human companions monitored and adjusted tactics in real time, guiding alien forces through unpredictable maneuvers. Sela observed the operation, impressed by the synergy between human initiative and alien precision. The battle ended without catastrophic loss, and the enemy retreated. The council members expressed admiration and gratitude for the human-led strategies. Acknowledging the value of collaboration over rigid tradition, Alex emphasized that success came not from individual heroism, but from teamwork, adaptability, and shared responsibility. After the conflict, training and planning continued. Alex spent time mentoring young leaders, sharing lessons about human resilience, decision-making, and empathy. He encouraged them to question assumptions, to experiment, and to embrace the unknown. Sela observed closely, recognizing that the influence of humans extended far beyond strategy, was reshaping thought, culture, and expectation. As the day came to an end, Alex and Sella walked once more through the ruins, reflecting on their shared journey. The ancient structures had witnessed countless generations, but now they symbolized a new era. Humans and aliens had learned to work together, to understand, and to inspire each other. "You've changed us more than you realize," Sella said quietly. "Your presence has shown our people that strength is not only measured in power, but in understanding, courage, and compassion." Alex smiled. "We're all capable of more than we know. It's not just humans. Your people are learning, adapting, and growing. That's what matters." As night fell and the twin moons rose, illuminating the ruins in soft silver light, Alex felt a sense of fulfillment. The journey had begun as an exploration and had grown into a lasting partnership between species. He understood that the story of humans and aliens was still unfolding, with challenges and discoveries ahead, but also with hope, resilience, and shared purpose. Sella stood beside him, looking toward the horizon. "The impossible is no longer impossible," she said. "With understanding and choice, we can achieve more than our ancestors ever imagined." Alex nodded, feeling the truth of her words. Humans had shown that courage, creativity, and collaboration could shape the future. Together, they could face any challenge, bridge any divide, and turn uncertainty into opportunity. The legacy of the human figure in the prophecy was no longer a distant legend. It was alive in the choices, actions, and hearts of those willing to act with intelligence, empathy, and determination. As Alex prepared to return to his human base, he knew that his mission was far from over. The partnership they had built would continue to grow, shaping a future where humans and aliens could face the unknown together. And as his ship lifted off, he looked down on the planet, feeling a quiet pride and a deep sense of connection. The impossible had been redefined, and the journey of understanding, courage, and cooperation was only just beginning.